Good evening, all. Welcome to El Tel Cockerel. It's Jose. It's Tuesday evening. Just got home from work not long ago, and I've just seen Portugal score right at the end of the game to make it 2-1. Boo! My brother-in-law's Portuguese, but I certainly wanted Czechoslovakia or the Czechs to win that game. But it is what it is. It's a 2-1 victory for Portugal, and that means that every team has now played once in the European Championships. I'll leave it to you guys to decide who you think is the team that's most impressed in their first game and one and only game, seeing that everyone's now played once. But today we could talk Euros after. But today it was the Premiership released their fixtures at 9 o'clock this morning. But I've been at work, away for work and that. So a lot of people have done shows, I believe. I think since the fixtures were done, and a lot of people make comments. But shh, my dog's going mad. But what I will say is that I've had a bit of a look at it, and do you know what? I'll see what the chat thinks. But yeah, I don't see them as being too bad, to be honest. I'm trying to figure out the UEFA fixture leagues, right? Right, so let's see this one. I'm trying to bring something up whilst I'm looking at that's first and second qualifying. Surely they must give you the fixtures. No, the UEFA League only goes back to the first qualifying round draw on the 18th of June, and the second qualifying draw on the 19th of June. Second qualifying round and first qualifying draw. Bear with me a second so I can find this and we can get it up here. Let me see if it's this one. No, they're not giving us anyway. They're not. I can't see anything at all to do with the Europa League because we're going to be involved in the Europa League. Anyway, I can't find the date. So what I'm going to do? Let me welcome some people into the chat. We have earlier on in a hype our resident scout saying Nuno Mendes from PSG and Portugal. So you like Nuno Mendes? I think he came on as a substitute in the second half in the hype. Chris Agambar says, big up Jose, big up to you, Chris Agambar, and also says, I wanted the Czechs to win also. I got them in the Tottenham on tour draw. You've got James who loves Spurs saying big up. Hi James, I hope you're well, mate. Portugal were a bit lucky with that second goal, is what he says. Danny Talks Sport. Smash and like and subscribe, please. Hi, Danny. I hope you're well, mate. I hope everyone's well. I know that you was at the watch along, Jesse's watch along for the game. I was on the train, and I popped in and said hello and hit the like button as you do for other channels as well. Chris Agambar says first game on a Monday night at Leicester. Correct. Alan says hi, Jose. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well and hi to the chat. And Mark Cook is here saying big up Jose. Right, so without further ado, let me share my screen. Present it. Right, so the fixture list. The fixture list. Has it been kind to Tottenham? Has it been unkind? What are your thoughts? I mean, you guys have probably had time to digest this. As I said, I've been working and I've been traveling, so yeah, it was difficult for me to look at. But a lot of people have digested this already. But I looked at it today and I thought to myself, the things that stood out for me this morning when it first came out and I was at work, the first thing that stood out for me is I looked for Arsenal Tottenham. And the reason why I look for Arsenal Tottenham is because every year we seem to get Arsenal away before we end up playing them at home. So I looked for Arsenal, Tottenham, and as soon as the fixtures was released, fourth or fifth game in was Tottenham Arsenal, and I thought, hold on, there's something wrong there, isn't there? Because they've put us to play the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're at home this season before we play them away, which normally is the other way around. So it was quite interesting in seeing that. And then obviously you want to know who you get in your first game, and we now know it's Leicester City away, which will be on a Monday night. So it'll be the Sky Sports game, be the Monday night game at 8 o'clock in the evening. I've heard mixed reviews, and people turning around and saying that they believe that this is a really tough start when you're playing against teams that have been relegated. That have come up from the Championship. Me, I'm going against the grain. I think we couldn't have had an easy fixture. I think the fixture is so easy, in the sense of I'm really happy with the fixture because, right, Leicester still haven't appointed a manager. I mean, there's talk about Potter going there, Graham Potter. They haven't appointed a manager yet. They've still got the points deduction hanging over them and looming over them, so you don't know what they're going to start with at the start of the season. You don't know whether they have to have a fire sale and sell players and that. So it's all a mess at the moment at Leicester. Yes, they came up as champions and that, but it's still a mess. Still needs to be sorted out. And yeah, although the Potter seems to be destined. They're the one that they're talking about at the moment. But I looked there and I thought to myself. I then looked at their team because obviously they got rid of some players last season before they got relegated. And then I looked at the team that they had playing in the Championship this year, and good old Winksy has done well for Leicester, but then Winksy will be up against a Tottenham 3 of whoever that may be on the opening day of the season. And if we let go of Winksy, there must have been a reason for it. So therefore, you'd like to think that midfield-wise, we'll get the better of him. Jamie Vardy's what, 36, 37 possibly. So he's getting on. Ilianacho doesn't seem to get a look in anymore. The Nigerian international doesn't seem to get a look in anymore. I still think they've got Wout Faes and Vestergaard at the back or whatever. It doesn't enlighten me when I look at the Leicester team. So for me, opposite to what I've heard some people say that they think it's going to be a really difficult fixture, I actually think it was a kind of fixture than I believe it's a kind of fixture than what people are predicting it to be. But anyway, so we're at home to Leicester on the Monday night, and then the Saturday. So that's the unkind part, is that we've got to play a game 5 days apart. So instead of getting a full week off, we've got to play 5 days apart. So we're at home to Everton. Not a bad start for them, the first 2 games. And then the third game we go away to Newcastle. Newcastle, where we've been absolutely trounced the last 2 times that we've gone out there. We've been absolutely trounced. So, I mean, we're talking now because excitement's here, because we now know there's a pathway to the season. We know who we're going to be playing and when, and and it starts becoming reality now, even though we're still 2 months away from kicking the first ball on the 19th of August. Today's the 18th of June, so we're still 2 months away. But it becomes more reality now because the fixtures have been released. And then obviously we've got Arsenal at home, then Brentford at home, and then we're away to Man United. So, I looked at the fixtures, and as we go down the fixtures in October, we go to Brighton, then we're at home to West Ham, and then we're away to Palace. So it says we've got 3 games in August. Sorry, 2 in August. No, 3 in August. It says we've got 3 in September. It says we've got 3 in October. November gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 games. So in November, we are at home to Villa, home to Ipswich, away to Man City, and home to Fulham. And December, I think there was quite a few games. So December's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in December. So so in 26 days, we got 6 games, and that starts. December kicks off with Bournemouth away, then Chelsea at home, Southampton away, Liverpool at home, Forest away, Wolves at home. January, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games at the moment for January, and that is we're at home to Newcastle, away to Arsenal, away to Everton, and then home to Leicester. February, we've got 2 games at the moment. Sorry, we've got 4 games pending for February, and that's Brentford away, Manchester United at home, Ipswich away, Man City at home. So we played both the Manchester clubs at home in successive home games, although it's 2 weeks apart. Or sorry, it's 10 days apart because one's the 15th and one's the 25th. But we played both the Manchester clubs. And then in March, we've only got 2 games predicted at the moment. Bournemouth at home, Fulham away. And then April is stacked. April, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more games again in April. So we're away to Chelsea, home to Southampton, away to Wolves, home to Forest, and away to Liverpool. And then we finish off in May with 4 games. So we're away to West Ham, home to Palace, away to Villa, home to Brighton. Some people will say it's an easier running than what we had last season. The reason why last season became difficult towards the end for us is we had to play the 2 matches, the rearranged games, the Man City game because they'd reached the Champions League final and FA Cup semi-final, and obviously they'd got to the Carabao Cup final, and obviously we had to fit in Chelsea because Chelsea had reached the final of the Carabao Cup as well. So everything had to be fitted in and squeezed. The problem that we've got at the moment is, or the problem I foresee, and I was trying to find out when the fixtures were, and I can't seem to find them at the moment, is that although we've got games separated, and like I said, I think the 17th. So, right, if I look at September, between the Tottenham Arsenal game and the Tottenham Brentford game, that midweek we were playing the Carabao Cup 3rd round. We've got a Carabao Cup 3rd round game. All right. So it doesn't look at. So as soon as you say that, then you've got 3 games in the league in August. But now already September is giving us a 4th game. It says we've got 3 here, but we've got a 4th because this is just the league fixtures. But the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup, which is where Tottenham enter, because all teams that play in Europe enter the Carabao Cup in the 3rd round and not the 2nd round. So therefore, we have a game split between the Tottenham Arsenal and the Tottenham Brentford game. I'm going to give it one more try. Okay. I'll try doing this way, and it's not giving it to me. All right, bear with me a second. Okay, so I've got it. Yeah, I've got it now. Right, so in looking at what I've got, the first match day is on the 25th and 26th, right? So the 25th and the 26th is the first match day. So okay, so September already looks like Tottenham versus Arsenal, 3rd round of the Carabao Cup in between, Tottenham versus Brentford, and then we don't know whether we're home or away on the 25th and 26th. I think the 25th might be a Wednesday. But anyway, it's the 25th and 26th. And then we've got Man United on the 28th. If we play on a Thursday night, the Man United game's being moved to a Sunday. If we play on a Wednesday night, the game remains on the 28th. Right? So already we're stacking up the games. So we've already got September. We've got 5 games to play and not 3, as it says on the screen, because these are not blended in with the other games. The second game from the match day 2 is on the 3rd of October, and match day 3 is on the 24th of October. So with that being said, so in between playing Man United away and Brighton at home, Brighton away, we've also got to fit in the second Europa Cup game. Then on the 19th, Tottenham play West Ham. In between Tottenham and West Ham and Crystal Palace Tottenham, you've got to fit another Europa League game in there. So that now takes the October games to 5. And I'm not even including Carabao Cup games here. So you start seeing that we're going to have a stacked season. Right, let me just check the Carabao Cups, just in case if we'd rather run in the Carabao Cup. Let me have a look. Carabao Cup. Dates for your diary. Let me have a look. Fixtures in full. Carabao Cup EFL fixtures. No. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. Carabao Cup. Let me see if it comes this way. Right, it doesn't come up. It's not telling me at the moment what the dates are. But anyway, you get my drift about everything stacking up. So that takes us to October, to Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. So basically, we've got 3 games in August. The reality is we've got 5 in September, minimum. And the reality is we've got 5 in October, minimum. And that is not including any further Carabao Cup games. We go into November, and we start November against Aston Villa. So we already know that in October, after the Crystal Palace game, we already know that we've got a Europa Cup game. Then we take on Aston Villa at home. And once we take Aston Villa on at home, you've got the 7th of November and the 28th of November. So the 7th of November and the 28th of November means that after the Villa game, you've got to fit in a Carabao Cup game. Then we play Ipswich. Then we play Manchester City. Then you've got to fit another Carabao Cup game in. And then you've got Fulham. So that takes us in November to 6 games. So at the moment, this is not including Carabao Cup 4th round. So at the moment, we've got 3 games in August. We have 5 in September, 5 in October, 6 in November. And then looking at December, we play Bournemouth on the 3rd away. Then we play Chelsea at home. Then you've got to fit in another Europa League game. Bearing in mind, I've not looked at the Carabao Cup beyond the 3rd round. Then we've got Southampton away, Liverpool at home, Forest away, Wolves at home. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in December if you add the Europa Cup game. And this is without Carabao Cup. Yeah. I was wondering how this will work out, but it looks like that we've got 2 games in January. So match day 7 and match day 8 of the Europa Leagues are on the 23rd and the 30th, which now means that January looks like there's going to be an FA Cup somewhere in between this. I'm assuming, and this is only an assumption, that the FA Cup must be Saturday the 11th of that week, because we've got Arsenal on the 14th. So basically, the FA Cup's got to be starting the 3rd rounds in January. So add an FA Cup to this as well. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games in January, plus an FA Cup is 5, and 2 Europa Leagues make that 7 games. So you've got Tottenham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Tottenham, and then you've got Everton, Tottenham. Then you have a Europa League game. Then it's Tottenham, Leicester, and then followed by another Europa League game before you get to February. When you get into February, depending where Tottenham are finished in the Europa League, if we're in the knockout playoff game because we finished between 9th and 24th in the league, then that means that we would have to play a knockout game on the 13th and the 20th of February. So with a knockout game, the 13th and 20th of February would stack up your February. We could do with qualifying in the top 8, so we don't have to play in the knockout competition. Because if we do that, we stick with the 4 games that you got in February. Apart from, as I said, Carabao Cup and FA Cup are not included in this. March has got 2 games at the moment, the 8th and the 15th, which is home to Bournemouth and away to Fulham. If we qualify for the last 16, you have to fit in the 6th and the 13th of March. So the round of 16 is taking place on the 6th and the 13th of March, which would mean that Tottenham would play from the 6th to the 15th. That would probably get moved to the Sunday, the 16th. From the 5th of March to the 16th, there's 4 games. Then we'd have a gap from the 16th of March. We'd then have a gap till we played again in April, and when we played Chelsea. And the quarterfinals for the Europa League are on the 10th and 17th of April. So April's already stacked. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 games in April in the league. If you reach the quarterfinals of the Europa League, there is 2 games to fit, more games to fit in April. This is not including FA Cup or Carabao. Sorry, Carabao Cup would have been finished by then. This is not including the FA Cup. Yeah. And then in May, you finish off with 4 games in May. But if you reach the semi-finals of the Europa League, then you also have to include the 1st and the 8th of May. So it would mean you play 1 game on the 1st, then it'd be West Ham away, game on the 8th, then it's Palace at home, then it's Villa away, and then it's Brighton at home to finish. This is not including FA Cup games and Carabao Cup games. So basically, chat, it means that we've got a pretty tight season coming up, and we're going to have loads of, well, our squad hasn't even been built for next season yet, but we can see already we're going to need players and some, aren't we, to fulfill all these fixtures that we're going to have, because you've got the league fixtures today, 38 fixtures. So, for all intents and purposes, doesn't matter how you look at it and how you cut it up, everyone knew that you're going to play everyone home and away twice in the league, right? So if you're going to play everyone twice in the league, we know we had 38 games. This morning, 38 games were released. And then when you start factoring in when they got the Carabao Cup game, because I can only tell you the 3rd round at the moment, but you get the drift. If the more you play in the Carabao Cup, the more fixtures you're going to have. Throw in the Europa fixtures, which for the first time this year, any of the European games are going to be 8 group games rather than 6. So that's an extra 2 games to play. And then they've padded in an extra knockout round to every tournament, which they don't normally do, but because they're not doing 3rd place teams anymore, because it's one whole group of 36 now. So just to remind people, in each of the leagues in Europe, 36 teams. You qualify automatically for the last 16 if you finish 1st to 8th. All those teams that finish between 9th and 24th play in a playoff. The winners of the playoff game then go into the last 16. Teams that finish, I don't know because it's the first time this has happened. Teams that finish between 25th and 32nd, I think that's it. You've got 8 games out of it, 4 home, 4 away, and that's it. It stops. It finishes there. So, chat, what do you think? We're going to be stacked. We need to build a squad to attack on all fronts next season, because with the squad we had last year, we were thin, paper thin, and we need to build a squad that can tackle all these games coming up next year. And I know that everybody wants to do well in the cups. We were always known as a cup side, weren't we? So everyone wants to do well in the cups, and if that's the case, then we need to build a squad to match that up. I'll catch up with the chat now. You've got audio saying, "Evening, Jose and chat. Mr. M is here. Good evening, Mr. M. How are you, sir? I hope you're well." Jesse says, evening, Jose. Hope you're well. Yes, I am, Jesse. I hope you're well as well. Daniel Coyes is saying, big up, mate. Chris Agenbar is dropping in some of the match day games, which I've caught up with. Leo, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you, Leo, isn't it? Because you're 6 hours or 5, 6, 7 hours behind me in the States, in Denver or in Colorado. Yo, what's up, my homies? Hope everyone's well. Ryan G says, big up, Jose, sir. I hope you're well. Pramvat, what's up, Jose? Did you see the Portugal-Czech Republic game? Yeah, I did. We'll talk about that in a second. Hi, all. 7:20 a.m. Our resident paramedic in Melbourne, Peter Kigayas, says he's just finished his shift. Leo says, I'll be there for either Villa or Ipswich. Can't wait. So you're coming back over, are you, Leo? Villa or Ipswich? Right, now you make me think. I'm going to have to look at the fixture list again. Villa or Ipswich? So that means you must be coming over in November. Because Villa, I think that's what you're saying, Villa and Ipswich are 2 home games on the 2nd and the 9th of November. What I will say to you, Leo, is we play in the match day 4 in the Europa League is on the 7th, and that's a Thursday. So the likelihood is that the Ipswich game will be moved to Sunday, the 10th of November. Yeah. So if you're here, the Saturday, the 2nd of November. Hold on, so bear with me a second. Saturday, 2nd of November. We play on the 24th, so that's not going to affect it. No. So the Villa game, Leo, remains on the 2nd. But if you're coming over and it was to be the Ipswich game, that would be moved to the 10th of November because we're playing the 4th Europa League game on Thursday, the 7th. Who else we got here? Rat Dosan alerts a few people. Daniel saying, there's no if we reach the semi-finals of the Europa League. I demand this team reaches the final of the Europa League this season. Michelle Zachariah, Man United chap. Not seen you in a while, Michelle. I hope you're well, sir. Says big up Jose and the chat. And you got some people saying hello back to you. And then Ryan's asking me, when do you play us at Molineux? Molineux. All right, let me have a look. Saturday, the 12th of April. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Tottenham Hotspurs is on the 12th of April. However, if Tottenham were to reach the quarterfinals of the Europa League, then that game would be pushed back a day to the Sunday, and that would make it the 13th of April, Ryan. So we got you on the 12th of April as things stand. Get to the quarters, we'll play you the following day on the 13th. So that's where we are. So I'm going to stop sharing that now. So I've caught up with that. I've got Michelle is saying that Portugal has a cracking team, but Martinez give Ronnie a goal tactic was why they struggled. Bruno man of the match. You are always going to say Bruno's man of the match because he plays for Man United. I didn't see the whole game, so I cannot comment and tell you who did and who didn't. I could have told you before the game that it was going to run that way because you're quite right. It's not about give Ronnie a goal. It's the way that Portugal play. Portugal play and everything has to go through Ronaldo. I think Portugal. Look, don't get me wrong. Ronaldo has been an absolutely brilliant player and has had a really, really great career. But in my opinion, and it's my humble opinion, they don't need to rely on Ronaldo. And to me, you're stopping other players from playing their natural game because they just have to keep feeding him the ball all the time. I think that if Ronaldo's not in a team and you have what's his name, the boy at PSG, the forward at PSG, who's gone to PSG, but he hasn't exactly ripped up trees at the moment, but he scored loads of goals last year in Portugal. But anyway, if you start playing these other players, I mean that Mendes came on, he looked really good today. He replaced Leao. Leao's a good player. Jota's a good player. They had loads of good players on the bench, but Neto came off the bench. Gonzalo Ramos, that's it. Gonzalo Ramos, he's not getting a sniff. He's been stifled because they're using Ronaldo there. Now, Ronaldo can go and score 51 goals in Saudi. I'm kind of thinking that most of the people in my chat could probably score 51 goals in Saudi as well. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But when you're playing against a better caliber of team, and I mean Czech Republic, because their players are going to be better than what they face week in, week out in Saudi, then it becomes that tad bit harder. You can't do what you do in Saudi. You can't bully people and stuff like that. And then, at the end of the day, yeah, I think for him not to be in the team would benefit Portugal. But for me, what I will say is, long may it continue. So whether it's Spain or whether it's England that are playing and going to meet them, I want Ronaldo to be playing in that game, because Ronaldo playing in that game gives whoever's playing against them more of an opportunity. So, Ryan G's happy that Neto came on and made an impact. Well, you would be, because he's a Wolves player. Shem good evening, my pal. Good evening, Mr. Jose. Hope you're doing okay this evening. When Ronaldo's not in the team, then they play more like a team. Shem, are you Turkish? I only asked because I saw on earlier on, because I was on a train, and I saw that you were commenting with Turkish flags to Talk and Ball on the Talk and Ball show. So I think myself, Shemtam Turkish, or did you just want Turkey to win? Daniel Coy says England can't win the Euros because of Southgate, but yet people think Portugal can win, even though they've got the Spanish Southgate who pissed away Belgium's golden generation. Say it as it is, Daniel. Michelle Zacharias says play Bruno as a false nine, Ten Hag ball, and Neves in midfield. Ryan says, I agree the team would flourish more without Ronaldo in the side. Ryan G says, extra money added on as well if we sell him, Jose. Right. If he performs well at the tournament. Shemtam is giving it large. Turquia. Look at that. And he says he's a Turkish Cypriot. Right. Do you know what? I'm so happy that Turkey won and scored loads of goals, because in the competition that I've entered, I think I said this the other day. You have to select. There's 80 of us, and it's 2 leagues of 40, and it's the top 2 meet in the semi-finals. And you had 3 pots to pick teams from, and the points were so you have to pick 1 team from each of the pots, right? And you had to do this before the competition started. So before anyone says anything, it was before the competition started, right? So you had to pick these teams out of a pot. Let me have a look where it is. All right. So I'm just going to run it past you guys, so you know. Right. So you got first tier, second tier, third tier. You have to pick 5 teams in total, but you have to select 1 team from each tier, and then you can have 2 random selections. The points scored are 1 point for a goal if your team is tier 1, and 1 point for a victory if you win the game. In the second tier, you score 1.5 points for each goal, and you score 1.5 points if you win the game. And in the third tier, it's 2 points per goal and 2 points if you win them, if they win their match. So in tier 3, Jose chose Romania. Romania scored 3 goals, and by my reckoning, that scores me 8 points. Second tier team, Jose selected Turkey. Turkey scored 3 goals and a win, and to my count, that's another 6 points. So that gives me 14. My first tier team that played was Germany, scored 5 goals, plus the win for point is another 6. So that takes me That takes me to 20 points. And then I had France, scored 1 and got me 1 point. So that takes me to 22. But my other tier 1 team was Belgium, and they didn't win and they didn't score a goal. So at the moment, I stand on 22 points. I don't know how I fared with the others, because we'll get the updated table will come out tonight or tomorrow. But as I said, it's difficult because only the top 2 in a league of 40 can go through the semi-finals. So I'll know tomorrow, how I've got on. But yeah, I was very happy for Turkey. Steve D, good evening, mate. Says, not a Ronaldo fanboy, but I didn't see that tonight. He was on the shoulder with arm up loads of times and wasn't picked out. I saw him getting frustrated by the lack of service, to be honest. You don't know what I was watching, mate, and you're saying, is it too late to join the game, Jose? There's no game. This is something, Michelle, this is something separate that I'm doing away from here that I do because I enter fantasy football and stuff like that with mates of mine, and this is another competition that I enter through friends and that. It's away from all this. But what I will say is for the predictions league, right? We now have or I did a bit of sending stuff out today because in order to do the predictions league, I said I wanted to have 500 subs because that gets me to the first milestone of partnership, YouTube partnering, and I did a bit of sending some messages out today to people and that, and I've gone and I've got myself 18 subscribers today, so I'm now on 451. So I need another 49. I get another 49, and then we are in for playing for doing the predictions league. And what I'm also going to do is quite possibly start an LTL Cockerell fantasy football league as well, where I'll open up a league, start a league, give everyone the code that's a subber to the channel, and then we'll enter and we'll do a league like that as well. So yeah, there's some things on the horizon that I'm thinking of doing. But yeah, I've not started doing the predictions yet, mate. So the predictions will come. If I get 500 subs, I'll run the predictions again, and it will be subscribers only. So, but yeah, long may it continue. Right, going to yesterday because obviously I haven't done a show and I didn't include yesterday. But if I look at yesterday, right, look at yesterday. Here we go. Right, because I need to talk about yesterday and then we talk about today. So, yesterday, you'll be up for joining that, Ryan. I bet you would, mate. I bet you would. Fantasy football's quite good because I don't have to do any work. I'll just give you the codes, you go away, pick your teams and that, and you manage it and do it yourself, and you'll be able to see where you are in the leagues and everything. So I've not heard back. I've got someone working on Toxic Headshot says, big up Jose, big up Toxic. Hope you're well, sir. Um, I've got someone working on spreadsheets and databases and how to improve or how to maybe minimize the work that I was doing last year, last season. But it appears it's not as easy as what it sounds. So I might have to still do some of the work, like I did last year. But you know, we all enjoyed it, and yeah, I get to where I need to get to, and we'll definitely do it. Good morning, Jose, from the south coast of New South Wales from Norman Lamont. Good morning, Norman. I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. So the first game that we're going to talk about from yesterday, because I'm going to talk Euros as well, is it was the first game that was played yesterday was Romania 3, Ukraine 0. Some people felt that it was a big upset. Some people felt that Ukraine would go and steamroller Romania. I didn't. Now I didn't watch the whole of the game because I was streaming yesterday when the game was on. And every time I knew it was 1-0, and when they scored the second and third, I had to leave the stream to go and have a look. But yeah, good result for Romania. It opens up that group because the other game, the second game of the day, was Belgium 0, Slovakia 1. Belgium, the perennial people that let you down. I think with Belgium, I mean, I don't know how you feel, people that were watching the football, but I feel like Belgium have got no identity now. I felt like when they had the golden generation or a team that I had 4 years ago, I knew what they were doing. I knew what they were up to. You could, and a lot of times you couldn't stop them, especially in qualifiers and that. But now, you know, they're playing with Anana and Oriol Mangala. Is Mangala that great? Anana's still young. He's still got time. So he's only 21, isn't he? So he's still young. But then you got Lukaku up front, who is a one-trick pony for me. He can't run anymore. It looks like he's got no pace. It looks like he's bulked himself up so much that his movement is and it might be age as well. I don't know. It might be injuries he's had, but he doesn't. Yeah, I'm not. He ain't gonna fire goals for you. Do you know what I mean? So therefore, and then the players that they had playing yesterday, you had Trossard. Trossard's a decent player. Doku, I think Doku's overrated. I still think he's overrated. I don't think he played well for Man City last season. I know it was his first season, but I think everyone over-eggs Doku. I don't think Doku has been great at all. I don't see what the hype is about at the moment. That is at the moment. Defensively, when you're playing with Wout Faes and was it Vestergaard? No, it wasn't Vestergaard. It was Wout Faes and the other fella. But the two centre halves they play with don't instill you with the greatest of confidence. Then you've got the two holding midfielders, one who I don't rate at all, and the other one's young. He's got time on his side, but he needs someone with him to play. And then, and Lukaku. And I looked at the subs bench and I thought to myself, where is this golden generation gone? So, they're a letdown, perennial letdown. I mean, I selected them for the competition I was playing in, but they absolutely let me down. And to be quite honest, hand on heart, I want Romania to smash Belgium and Slovakia because for me, it'd be good for the competition that I'm playing in. And I'd get them far more points, Romania scoring goals and winning, than what I would do from Belgium. But we'll have to wait and see. But so Romania 3-0 against Ukraine yesterday. Belgium lost 1-0 to Slovakia. And then you had Austria-France, where France beat Austria 1-0. Good evening, Paul G has just joined us. Good evening, Paul. So you got Austria-France. Now, what did you guys think of Austria-France? I turned around and I said before the competition started that I felt that France would struggle. I feel that France like England. I'm going to say England for England as well. Some really, really great technical, gifted individual players, but put them together in a team, and it's as if they can't play at all. So I looked at yesterday's game, and I was like, it's not just yesterday. It's been a while watching France, but I looked at them and I thought to myself, so looking at them, I thought to myself, Thuram for me is wasted playing out on the left, wasted, right? And Osman Dembele, what does he actually do? What does he offer? I ain't talking just about yesterday. I'm talking about watching France now for a while. I'm just wondering what he offers. He offers absolutely zero for France at the moment and hasn't done for quite a while. Offers zero. Kylian Mbappe, what does he offer? And he's a World Cup champion. He's won the World Cup. Mbappe. But boy, how much is Mbappe worth? Did anyone see what he did in the second half before he broke his nose? Did anyone see where he went running? He had speed to burn. Left two players for absolute dead, right? But then, did you see when he went one-on-one with the keeper? That is £100 million player for you. What a miss! What a miss he made. Griezmann, yep, really tidy player. Plays the 1-2s and that, really tidy. But other than that, I haven't seen Griezmann offer nothing for the last couple of years. In midfield, Kante is a machine for him. And I thought Rabiot came back and played well because Rabiot's not played a lot recently, and I thought Rabiot played well. And then I look at their defence, and I think that they are suspect on the right-hand side. I think Theo Hernandez is a decent player on the left. My belief is he's a decent player on the left. And they played Saliba for once. Saliba started before Konate. And before, who's the other player that he started before? He started before Konate. Yeah, he started before Konate, right? So he got into the team before Konate, which has been recent because Saliba's not been getting much game time for France. But and they played. It's interesting. Saliba plays on the right side of centre back for Arsenal, but yesterday he played on the left side of centre back for France. Saliba and Hernandez down the left-hand side. They haven't obviously played often with each other, but the left seemed pretty decent yesterday when I watched it. The right-hand side is where you can get them. Jules Koundé can be got at, and Upamecano. Upamecano is the player that Eric Dyer was keeping out of the side. So Upamecano hasn't been tearing up trees either. So, and I said before the competition started, I said France can be got at, and a bit like England, all these super talented players, but it's just gelling everyone together on the pitch. And for me, they play Holland on Friday, don't they? They play Holland on Friday, and by all accounts today, there was a guy who was being interviewed. I'll come on to that second. Let me just say hello to a few people. Steve D says 70% possession and camped in the final third for most of the game. Only 19 crosses, which is average, and half of them were absolutely shocking. Like I say, can take him or leave him, but didn't see it. Daniel says Belgium deserve all the shite they get when they're leaving a Pender on the bench for that long. Couldn't believe he missed. Was for Mbappe is what Ryan G saying, and then he's saying Upamecano started surprisingly as well. He's not been great form for Bayern. So with France, what they were saying today is that they interviewed a fella this morning who is a I don't know, he's a specialist, a facial specialist or whatever out in France, and he said. And no one challenged him on what he said. It's an interview that he did on the radio. No one challenged him, but he said that he's surprised that Mbappe will be out for the Holland game on Friday. He said that rugby players have had similar injuries in France. They get masks made for them, and they play the following game. And he's surprised that Mbappe is not going to play. So I listened to what was being said, and as I said, his comments weren't being challenged by the reporter that was interviewing him. But my challenge is, and it's only a matter of days, but in rugby, you don't play on a weekend, a midweek, and then a weekend again. You get a straight week off in rugby. In rugby, your games are spread over each week, minimum, so you're always going to get 7 days. Where the turnaround for Mbappe is 4 days. So that's probably why there's a possibility he might not play against France. So he was this guy is a facial surgeon or whatever. He was really shocked and really surprised. But when I because he wasn't challenged, I felt to myself, yeah, but rugby plays once a week. This football match is being turned around inside 4 days. You know, you get an extra 3 days if it's a week. So, and I don't know whether that plays into it, but that's what I thought. As I said, the reporter didn't challenge what was being said by the specialist. And then you had Plettigol, I think that's what his name is, Plettigol, who's one of these reporters. They spoke to him, and he said that the belief in France is that Mbappe will be out for the Holland game. And then they interviewed Emmanuel Petit, who's in Paris, and Petit also said that he believed that Mbappe would be out of the game for Holland. Now, that makes the Holland game interesting because I thought Holland were really poor the other day. As I said on my stream, I felt that the subs bench for Holland was probably stronger. They had players that were far stronger for me that could have been in the starting 11. They were on the bench. But without Mbappe, it kind of levels the game up because Holland and France played each other in the qualifying group, and France were unbeaten in the group, and I think they turned over Holland twice, home and away. I think they did, because Holland definitely lost twice in the group stages, but France were undefeated. And I expected France to turn over Holland, but now Mbappe's out of the side. I think it equalises it. I think it makes that game a lot tighter than what it should have been, providing that Holland picked the right team to go up against them. For me, the right team is not playing with Memphis Depay up front. The right team for me is playing De Ligt and Van der Ven in your starting 11. The right team for me is, I don't have to go back because there was more players. Because when I looked at it, I thought to myself, wow, Let me go back to, it was June. Right, the right team for Holland. So Holland, for me, yeah, De Vries a good player, and so is Ake. But to me, there's room for Van der Ven, and there's room for De Ligt. Xavi Simons had an absolute stinker. When I saw the midfield of Veerman, Schouten, and Reinders, I thought to myself, who are they? I know nothing about them, never heard of them, never seen them play. And because of that, I just thought to myself, God, that's really underwhelming. And then I looked at the subs bench, and on their subs bench, they had Donny Marlin, Joshua Zerke, Geertruida, Jeremy Frimpong. And I just thought to myself, all these players, they must have a really strong squad if all these players can't make the starting 11. So with Mbappe being out, as I'm saying, with Mbappe being out, it actually brings that game, it makes that game a lot tighter than what it needed to be for me. And then today, obviously, we had Turkey 3, Georgia 1. So Kivi Maradona played today for Georgia. I haven't seen it. I was working, so I haven't seen the game. I've got it recording, so I'll be able to see the highlights of both games. With the Portugal one, meh. I'll just probably fast forward it and just look at the goals, and that's it. But for the Turkey game, I'm interested to watch it. Gula of Real Madrid, the 19-year-old, apparently scored a fantastic second goal. As I said, I haven't seen the goals, but that opens the group up. And the next game in that group is Turkey versus Portugal, and it will be Georgia versus the Czech Republic. I can see fireworks, Turkey, Portugal. I can see fireworks. They're two very, very passionate teams that will go out and give it their all. And I can see that being a really fiery game, to be honest. But then tomorrow, for fixtures for tomorrow, we have at 2 o'clock, it's Croatia versus Albania. I fully expect Croatia to bounce back against Albania. As I said the other day, Italy beat Albania 2-1. Spain and Croatia will do more than 2-1 against Albania. So, yeah, Albania looked really, really poor to me. And they looked like they were devoid of ideas when they played Italy the other day. And then at 5 o'clock, you have Germany versus Hungary. I'm fully expecting a home victory for Germany, and I think that there'll be goals in that game. And then you have Scotland versus Switzerland. Scotland versus Switzerland. Scotland need to do something to bounce back. Switzerland have already got a 3-1 win against Hungary under their belt. So these teams, so now that you get to the second set of fixtures, Hungary, they'll be hungry because they've got 0 points. And they know they need to get at least a point tomorrow to stand any chance. So Hungary will be up for it against Germany. Germany at home, and I think they're going to be too strong. But should be a good game. And in Scotland, off an absolutely damaging defeat, have got to play against Switzerland, who Switzerland will be buoyant for what they've done in the first game. Switzerland will be buoyant because I felt Hungary played well in patches against Switzerland, and certainly deserved more. But that Szoboszlai, listen, Liverpool can keep him. Szoboszlai is not worth the money that Liverpool paid for him. Not from what I saw last season, and not from what I watched the other night. There were better players in the Hungarian team than Szoboszlai. In fact, if I'm the Hungarians, I wouldn't be passing to Szoboszlai. I'd be passing to other players who look more attacking and more threatening and more potent than what Szoboszlai did. But Scotland want to bounce back from their defeat to Germany, and they won't. If Scotland don't win tomorrow, basically, if Scotland don't win tomorrow, basically they're going to be going home, aren't they? So they've got something to fight for tomorrow. And Switzerland, yeah, Switzerland have got a victory already, but another victory puts them straight through to the game, to the quarters. To the round of 16 with. So 2 victories, basically, you're going to be through. Regardless of what you are, you're going to be through. Whether you finish top or second, you're going to be through. But I suppose if you start looking at the pathways of which way to get through and who to play in the next round and all that, they'll have to decide that in the final group game against Germany. But I think tomorrow's games will be decent games, and I think that tomorrow's games will bring lots of goals. If you look at these games, there was 3 goals in the Croatia game, there's 3 goals in the Albania game, and then Germany and Scotland served up 6 goals, and Hungary Switzerland served up 4 goals, and that was in the first set of games. Sides need to make a move. For me, the second game is movement game, because that game tells you whether you're going to make the next round or not. So I think we've got some impressive games tomorrow. I'm not sure whether I'm doing a show tomorrow, but Thursday's mouthwatering. You've got Slovenia, Serbia. Slovenia did well against Denmark, but I don't think Slovenia are that good, and I don't think Denmark are that good. What I did is I watched Slovenia for Benjamin Šeško, because I wanted to see what the hype was all about him and that, because I've seen him play and he looks really good, but he's young, and can he lead the line for you? And people are saying, it's a lot of money to spend and stuff like that on a player like Šeško, who's only 20. But it was his striking partner. So Šeško wore the 11, but his striking partner, Sporar, who wore the 9, plays for Panathinaikos, 31 years old. He really impressed me the other night against Denmark, and I thought he was a really good player. So Sporar was someone that I looked at. Now they're playing against Serbia. Serbia are a decent team. It's funny because I said this on the stream after the England game, that before the game started, you've got lots of people in the fan base and all throughout Europe that say, God, wouldn't we love to have Dusan Vlahovic in our team? God, we could do with Sergei Milinkovic-Savic in our team. God, we could do with Niko Milenkovic in our team. God, Dusan Tadic is some player. Wow, Mitrovic scores some goals. All these players are lauded by people, and people want them and all that. All of a sudden, when they play as the team Serbia, they're shit. Everyone was saying English is steamrolling them because Serbia are crap. So on the one hand, you want all these individual players that they've got, but then you're saying that Serbia are crap. And then it was interesting seeing the stat before the game when it says that Filip Kostic of Juventus, who played out the number 11, who played out wide, he's 5'7", and with him in the team, included in the team at 5'7", their average height is 6'2". I thought England done so well to minimise the amount of free kicks that they gave in the last third and to minimise the corners, because Serbia are giants and they can play football, but they're also giants, the giant of a team. And I think Serbia will cause Slovenia problems tomorrow. And it's kind of a derby, isn't it, for them? So that'd be an interesting game. Sorry, on Thursday. That'd be an interesting game. So to whet your appetite, you've got that one at 2 o'clock. Then you've got Denmark, England. From what I saw the other night, Denmark, another team that play with a 3 like Serbia do. So they play with Anderson, Christiansen. I can't remember who's the third centre half. He played here in England, I think, the third centre half as well. But they play with 3 centre halves. But so do Serbia, played with 3 centre halves. And Southgate made Kane stay up against their back 3 for the whole game. And so therefore, he told him not to drop deep and be playing and stuff like that. Well, they're gonna have 3 players against England as well, 3 centre backs. So it'd be interesting what England do. But Denmark, I looked at Denmark and I thought to myself, yeah, Denmark can be got at. So England should find it easier against Denmark than what they would have done against Serbia. And then that's the hors d'oeuvre. So you've got your starter is Slovenia, Serbia. The hors d'oeuvre is Denmark, England. But the serving up, the big dinner for the night and the biggest serving is Spain versus Italy at 8 o'clock in the evening. I cannot wait to play Italy on Thursday evening. So I've got England at 5 and Spain at 8. So my 2 sides are both playing on the same day. Happy days. I'm going to be so footballed up on Thursday. It's beyond belief. And then Friday, we're served up with Slovakia, Ukraine, at 2 o'clock. Poland, Austria at 5 o'clock. So Poland might have Lewandowski back. I was impressed with Austria, by the way. Austria playing the way that they play the football. I was impressed with the way they played yesterday. And then 8 o'clock on Friday evening, and I'm going to miss it because I play football on a Friday. It's Holland, France. 8 o'clock kickoff. I'm just like, tasty game. And then the group games finish by next Wednesday. Yeah, the group games then finish by next Wednesday. So by the time we get to Saturday will be the last of the second set of group games. So that will be 2 o'clock will be Georgia, Czech Republic. So they both lost. And then it's going to be Turkey, Portugal, who both won. And then it's Belgium, Romania in the evening on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's already Group A. It'll be Group A, 2 games at the same time, 8 o'clock in the evening. And that'll be the Germany group. On the Monday, it's 2 games again at the same time, 8 o'clock in the evening, and that's a Spain group. On the Tuesday, you've got 5 o'clock in the evening, you've got the France group playing off. And then at 8 o'clock in the evening, you've got the England group playing off. And on the Wednesday, it will be the Belgium group playing off at 5 o'clock and the Portugal group finishing at 8 o'clock. And then we've got a break from Wednesday. We'll have Thursday and Friday off. So there'll be no European games on Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, the 29th of June, the last 16 start. Hopefully, that brings you all up to date where we are. Let's have a look. Sorry, Shemtan. Arda Güler can't get a game for Real Madrid and put too much pressure on him in the Turkish media, calling him the Turkish Messi. Toxic Headshot is saying, I have a feeling Romania will go in the semi. Romania, as I said, I was working, so I've had to I've recorded it, so I'll be watching it before I go to bed. So yeah, after this stream, I'll be going to watch the highlights of their game because I've recorded it tonight. And you've got AJ here saying, big up, Jose. Good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Good evening, AJ. I hope you are as well, sir. Really well, really well, really well. Because I've been working all day, so we've done the fixtures. Because I've been working all day, I haven't had a chance to have a full look at Twitter. So what I will do is I'm going to bring Twitter up whilst I've got everyone here, and I'm going to have a look and see what Twitter says. Right, have we got anything here on Twitter? Because I haven't caught up with anything that people were discussing today. Because as I said, I've been away with work. So, Twitter, what we got on Twit? Share Twit. There's a fight in the pub during the Euros there. That's fantastic, isn't it? Paddy Power. Spurs fans, would you be happy to see Ivan Toney in a Tottenham shirt? That was 3 hours ago. Cristiano Ronaldo. Right, all we got here. Tottenham Hotspur are planning to sign a versatile defender to reinforce Ange Postecoglou's backline, according to the agent of Radu Dragusin, Florin Manaya. From what I know, Spurs are not looking for a pure central defender. They are more looking for a... There we go. They're more looking for a versatile defender. In any case, Dragusin is ready for anything. He is not afraid of the competition. I'm not worried because such a strong defender cannot be stopped. His growth cannot be slowed down. Tottenham have always placed their trust in him, and in the Serie A, he faced very strong attackers. And that is the agent of Radu Dragusin talking again via Tutto Mercato Web in Italy. So yeah, he does like a story. He does like getting involved, doesn't he? What we got here? Tottenham have looked at Rav van der Berg from Middlesbrough, according to Ali Gold. I saw that a couple of weeks ago. So that's the Vanderson deal. Sorry, that's talking about Vanderson. Tottenham showing interest in South American star who can replace Emerson Royale. So that's Vanderson there. Radu Dragusin, his agent is everywhere. Look, Dragusin's agent says, "Today, my partner told me that there were Napoli scouts at the stadium to watch Dubrovnik. Maybe they saw the game Dragusin played. So Napoli were there to look at Dubrovnik, who plays for Girona, and is the centre forward for Ukraine. And then he's saying, but maybe, maybe they looked at how Dragusin played as well, Napoli. Chelsea have entered the race to sign Samu Omodorian, and they're trying to find an agreement with Atletico Madrid, even if the price is high. I don't understand how Chelsea are doing all this business. You got anything else in here? Because I've not looked at Twit. So, Tottenham's first opponents for the new season, Leicester City, are close to appointing Graham Potter as their new manager. Interesting. Anything else here? That was 15 hours ago. Who have we got here? So the Juventus for Douglas Luiz, that's been rumbling for a couple of weeks now. Florian Pettenberg says, being told that concrete talks between Man United and Joshua Zirkzee top agent Kia Borachim have started. Zirkzee is a top target for attack for Man United again, as he revealed today after total agreement with AC Milan is not in sight at this stage. Understand Man United, and it goes on about them. Dennis Mann. So Dennis Mann plays for Parma in Serie B, and for those that don't know Dennis Mann played for Romania on the right wing, and he's available according to transfer market. He's available for €6.5 million, and he's 25 years old. And this person reckons he's better than Brennan Johnson. Let me have a look. Is there anything else there? First games, tournament there. So on the footballing front for Tottenham, there ain't many more rumours other than the 728 that have gone before us. Yeah, there's nothing there apart from the 728 that have gone before us. And then you've got Adrian Shoker saying, "Good evening, Jose and et al." Yeah, good evening, Adrian. I hope you're well, my friend. I hope you're well. Yeah, saying that, I don't know when I'm next going to be on. I don't know whether I'm going to do a show tomorrow or not. There just isn't much Tottenham stuff to talk about at all because other than the fixtures today, Tottenham are really not giving us much, which is pretty much the same for every other club at the moment. We've got a lot of players playing we've got a lot of players that are playing in Europe, and you've got a lot of players that start. I think the Copa America starts. What day is it today? Tuesday. So it starts Thursday, I believe, the Copa America. So whilst these two competitions are going on, I don't know how much news we're going to get to hear from people with regards signings and that. But it's all gone quiet, apart from the 728 we've been linked with since the beginning of May. Or am I wrong? Is it beginning of May? I don't know. What did May have? May had 31 days. Today's 18 days. That's 49. 49 for one. No, since the beginning of April. Okay, since the beginning of April, we've probably been linked with 728 players. And yeah, not much is happening on the transfer front. Adrian says there's only 73 days left in the transfer window. And we've got Europe, the European games, although we want to know news from Tottenham, and other teams want to know news from their teams as well. Everyone's waiting for news in the Premiership. and throughout Europe, throughout everywhere, to see where players are going to be going and where they're not going to be going. But we're not finding anything out at the moment. I say always the adage of no news is good news. So no news to me at the moment means that we can have all these thoughts in our head that we're going to sign X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and they can still remain in our head. So for those people that think that we're signing Kvaratskhelia from Napoli, then you can still keep these thoughts, because no news is good news. If you thought we were signing Rafael Leao, we still might be signing him, because no news is good news. We don't know who we're signing. There's a lot of speculation, and like I said, a lot of the speculation last year was about certain players. The top two that we were signing last year were Raya and Todibo. We didn't go for none of them. We ended up signing Van der Ven and Vicario. How wrong were we? Because we believed everything that we were being sold and everything that was being sown at us. So, yeah, this transfer window, yeah, it's a bit irritating because we've got these two competitions. But for me, what I say to you people is no news is good news. And with that, I'm going to call it a night and end the show. And yeah, just hit the notification button, hit the like if you've enjoyed the stream, and you enjoyed an old man rambling. And yeah, it will tell you when I'm next back on. So as always, as my mate Colin says, be good to yourselves. I'm going to say stay healthy, right? Be good to yourselves, stay healthy. And it's, as always, it's come on you Spurs. Take care, everyone. Bye.